Haaland is scared. Yeah, he's not. We lost 4-2. Welcome back. Chelsea 2, Manchester City 4. Haaland is not scared. Cucurella still likes paella. Unfortunately, Cucurella wasn't help us. He wasn't here to help us defend today against the mighty Haaland, and make the song as true as it sounds. I hope for the first Premier League game he will be there to defend the lyrics, because otherwise, it seems like a certain someone is going to run a rampage, a riot on us. A humbler crumbler, we can call that one. It's preseason, so if you're expecting me to be angry, then you're not going to get that, because I literally, physically, emotionally do not have it in me. I have many highs, but plenty of lows probably to look forward to next season as we learn the ways of Maresca ball. And there'll be plenty of time to get angry over competitive games where points are dropped and mistakes are made individually and collectively. Today is a day where the manager said he would experiment before the game, or he would use these games as training sessions, as opportunities to try things. He certainly tried something with that lineup, and I've tried it. You tried it. We didn't like the taste. We spat it out. Spat out the food, and we won't eat it again. It was an interesting lineup to begin with. Let's start there. The back four, initially when I saw it, I thought Gusto would invert from left back because he was so good inverting in the previous game. He decided Maresca to try something different because he wanted to see if Gusto could overlap on the left-hand side. Personally, I'm not a fan of any right-footed left back overlapping. I just feel like they're not able to cross. They're not able to bring natural width to the team. They always turn inside. It's just unnatural to them. And it was for Gusto. It wasn't anywhere near as good as the performance he gave in the previous game. If he's going to play left back, he needs to invert. If you're going to play an overlapping fullback at left back, you need to look at Chilwell, or you need to look at Renato Vegra, who's at least left-footed. I don't know if he can cross and go forward and give that expansive dynamism. I know Cucurella is not really about that life. So those are your options, right? So that test and that experiment, Lilo and Stitch, you can throw that pod and put it in the bin. It's not great. It's not good. We cannot find a home for Gusto as a left winger. The rest of the defense, awful, because you guys just individually, collectively just gave the ball away, made individual errors, made mistakes, including the keeper. His distribution, his passing was not good enough. We have our concerns. We know we have our concerns over this goalkeeper as to whether or not he's good enough to play this way. Brighton didn't seem to think so, and they play that way. De Zerbi didn't seem to think so, and he's very stubborn in his beliefs to play out from the back. So is this manager. I don't believe he's good enough. You probably at home potentially don't believe he's good enough. But Chelsea have said that they believe he is, and that's why those reports came out that he's first choice. Now, they did bring in Jorgensen to compete with him. I'm going to use the word compete until he either dislodges him, oversteps him, pushes him to the wayside, whatever you want to call it. He's at the moment here to just compete. He didn't play today, and I thought it would have been nice to have 45 minutes per player just to continue to keep seeing who is the main guy. It feels like Sanchez will start this season as number one if he's going to play a full game like that. So, yeah, noted. I guess we'll look to the Premier League and see how he performs, but I'm not confident in the keeper. Reece James and Tosin, yeah, just not good. Colwell, penalty, very soft, but the way we capitulated and conceded again straight after, again playing out from the back, right? So the reason why I'm not angry is because if Maresca's hired, and he is, and he's here, you have to understand that this is going to happen. This is going to happen. You are going to be on the receiving end of some beatings because you are going to play this way. And there is consequences to playing out from the back when you don't have the best players in those positions, profile-wise, like a Sanchez, etc. There will be individual errors, there will be mistakes, and you will be paying for those errors. Haaland is one of the most deadly finishers on the planet. He is going to take his chances. So it's high risk, high reward football. And we saw, I mentioned Brighton again because De Zerbi was, someone that people wanted. I believe this would have happened with him too. You have to accept and almost come to terms with the fact that these moments are going to take place, right? I remember Brighton doing this at Anfield twice in a row and getting their consequences served up to them swiftly, and losing that game comprehensively. And this is what is going to happen with us as well. We have to hope that it happens to be a situation where we get out from the back more often than we don't, and they improve in that aspect in the first phase. Lavia is someone that is having a really good preseason and looks really good in these areas, and looks like someone that can play this way. We'll see if the rest can handle it. So that's a disappointment to be 2-0 down in 7 minutes, but it can happen. So that's why I'm not angry about it, because I'm not surprised, I'm not shocked. The board and the directors have got to be able to stay, I guess, patient and handle the moments of errors with this manager. And we don't know what that looks like in the Premier League landscape with competitive teams playing for points and needing results, which is why in preseason, for me, I don't get too high on a Club America win and I don't get too low on a Man City beating, because at the end of the day, preseason is what it is preseason. It's an opportunity to trial, to test, especially when it's a new manager, someone that's coming in to manage this group for the first time, as opposed to managers that have been at the club for years and years and years, who already know what they want to do and already know their team in and out. But at the same time, being beaten comprehensively, it does worry me that obviously we play this very team in a couple of weeks in the first game at Stamford Bridge. We need to snap out of it very soon and not make the same mistakes, because Premier League is a humbler, and we will definitely be going into that game needing points. We can't just say, oh, it's Man City, so we could lose. No, we took points off them last season. We need to be doing the same. Going into the rest of the game, I mean, forward line, I wasn't particularly happy with seeing Mudryk at right wing. Mudryk is one of those players that I feel is quite limited. He has a cult support, which believe he is potentially going to be a player that explodes. But he has no middle ground. He has no 7 out of 10s. He has no 8 out of 10s. He either has potentially, in some people's eyes, a 10 or 9 out of 10, or he has a 2 out of 10. There's no in between. He's either going to explosively pace past players and take incredible shots that we see in training drills, or play wonderful 1-2s with Nkuku and Jackson and nutmeg someone and then run on and score like he did last season. Always going to drop an absolute howler. And for me, the only place he can possibly be salvaged is at left wing. So to see him at right wing was another experiment. And again, it did not work. And we do not need to really see it again. Mudryk has nothing to offer at right wing. I think we all knew that, but we just at least now see it in daylight. The brother cannot cross. The brother cannot dribble. The brother does not make the off-the-ball runs that, you know, he needs to, and we saw that last season. He's got a lot to learn in that department. He is not a right winger. At left wing, you can get a shot. At left wing, you can get a 1-2. At left wing, you can get, you know, potential goal threat. I say that with my eyebrows raised heavily. At right wing, you're not getting nothing. So for a team that have an overload of left-footed right wingers, we don't need to see that. We have Angelo, we have Madueke, who was much better when he came on, obviously got the goal, we'll get to that later, created the goal for an assist, so he leaves the picture of a goal and assist, and that's why I said after the Club America game, I felt like Madueke improved in that game, as opposed to, and he improved as the game went on, as opposed to how he performed against maybe Celtic and in the first few games. Madueke can offer something at right wing. He has his own issues. He has his own things to develop. But as you saw when he came on, he has something in that position. Mudryk does not. Lavia was good today. Lavia obviously playing that wonderful pass, which we should really wait to get to before we address the second half, where, wow. What a start, hey? What a start. To concede 2 more goals inside 10 minutes is crazy. It's crazy. Also, don't like Nkuku at 9. Said it before on this channel, say it again. I know it's been flirted with. I know it's been talked about. People are saying Nkuku can play 9 because he's clinical, because he can head the ball. I think Nkuku has got far too much to offer to this team and is far too important in between the lines and connecting the dots with this team, whether that's at the 8 or at the 10, to be playing as a striker. Striker back to goal, not getting as many touches, having to fight defenders is not Nkuku's game, and it should not be his game. If you're playing him as a 9, it's because you did not address the 9, or your 9s are not good enough. That's my opinion. You either go with Jackson, or you go with Gu, or you go to the market. If you're playing Nkuku as the 9, you are losing something in the attacking midfield areas. You are losing something as a team from a possession standpoint, because he has so much to offer in terms of breaking the low blocks, in terms of breaking, and also just offering an extra goal threat to the team. We're trying to add goals to the team, not take it away. So if you put Nkuku at the 9, You're taking away the striker who's meant to be getting 15. If you put in Cuckoo just behind the striker, you're adding goals to the team. You're getting someone who crashes the box, late runs, gives you 2 options when you cross, and on top of the striker that's meant to be giving you goals as well. So again, that's something that I would love to have rectified. I'd much prefer to see you playing up there because he was good in the last game, and we go from there. So he got his 9 experiment. I didn't like it. Not saying it's something that will never work, but it's just something that I would not prefer. But going back to the goals that we conceded, again, just rapid fire at the start of the second half. It's a shame that we are, giving away goals cheaply and consecutively like that, because it kind of takes the wind out of any sails. It ruins all momentum and kills confidence. Again, it's a preseason game. I'm going to move on quite quickly from this, as I'm sure you guys are as well. It was a nasty way to start the second half. It is more errors. It is more mistakes. It is frustrating. It's embarrassing if you want to look at it in a way where people are going to, like Saeed, ring your phone. But in all seriousness, it's not the end of the world because, like I said, we know that this is going to take time. We know that this is going to be pain, short-term pains, hopefully long-term gains. But there will 100% be short-term pain. If you didn't plan for short-term pain, then I don't know what you're doing. To be honest, I don't know what you expected. So yeah, Haaland is not scared. Haaland is clinical. Haaland puts the ball in the back of the net. Oscar Bob's finish was so good. I want to praise Man City a bit because Man City put out a B team / C team. Their bench, I could not recognize any of the names outside of the goalkeepers and maybe Hamilton and one other, maybe Doyle, because they played a handful of games for Man City. Man City rocked up with reserves and bopped us for decent spells. And that's not good. It's not good. It tells you that we have a long way to go. And Club America, Mexican champions, is not something to write home about and almost think that we've made it. We haven't made it at all. So fair play to Man City today. Credit to Man City. Credit to Oscar Bob for the finish. Twisted our guys inside out on that left hand side in Colwell and slipped it past Sanchez at near post. Brilliant finish. Maybe we were interested in him. Maybe we're not. But, if I was Man City again, similar to Cole Palmer, wouldn't be letting him go anywhere. Looks like a real player. So, yeah, we're 4-0 down at that point. Haaland's obviously bagged his goal. And we're just trying to get back into the game. Substitutions are made. We're seeing minutes allocated for everyone, which is great. Still didn't feel like, again, back-to-back games that I'm covering where I'm not really getting a sense that Enzo is really ticking. Caicedo at times rusty, but again, we're just going to give these guys chances and time to allocate and increase their minutes and hopefully increase their fitness. And obviously Madueke and Sterling get their goals, and Sterling's goal is brilliant. Madueke on the right-hand side, coming off the bench, right foot cross, brilliant to see. I said in the last game, I want to see more from Madueke's right foot. You need to train that from a shooting and crossing perspective to give yourself the unpredictability. He did that. Great cross, great finish from Sterling on his weaker foot. And obviously, Lavia plays a great pass and Madueke slots in, composed 1v1 and puts it past the keeper. How much can we read into that considering it's Man City's reserves in that back line? Calvin Phillips was playing back there, etc. Not too much. So again, take it with a pinch of salt. The smallest pinch of salt you could possibly think of. But at least the scoreline was not 4-0 and it was 4-2, so it came back a bit. But again, there's no points allocated. There's no consequences. It's just a reminder to everybody that we have not made it, and we have a long way to go. And names on a team sheet don't equal points. And yeah, we have not done anything with this group of players yet. We have many things to achieve, many hurdles to knock down. And until those hurdles are knocked down, we should probably calm ourselves down and move humble. Because, like I said, names don't equal points. It doesn't equal balance in a team sheet. And the Premier League has a nice way of exposing a squad being put together based upon names and maybe theory and imagination, but reality, it needs to make sense, it needs to work. And that might mean that big names have to be dropped. I'm very impressed with Lavia. I would like to see a Lavia Caicedo pivot based on the way that Caicedo ended the season last year. Maybe it means that Enzo has to hold bench at the start of the season if we're to find the right balance. We may have to drop a few big names. it's about results. I'm not really bothered about who plays and who doesn't. Whatever makes sense. A lot of things today didn't make sense. We move from them. We don't do those things again. We learn, we move. We got games coming up, Real Madrid, Inter Milan, opportunities to redeem ourselves, opportunities to improve. Hopefully we do that. And yeah, that's where it is. So guys, make sure you smash up the likes. Make sure you subscribe. Big up your damn selves. And I'll see you guys next time. In a bit, people. Peace.